Hi friends, this is Joe, and this is episode number 196 of the Decahedron RPG podcast. Getting close to episode 200. We think we know what we're going to talk about. We think we're going to talk about the Holmes edition of D&D. Anyway, we're picking back up with the How I Create a Sandbox campaign. And, I was thinking about it. I've been going really in depth into these questions, and maybe the first couple that was okay to give you the feel for it, but I think it could get old if I do that for 10 more questions. So today I'm just going to do a rapid fire for the last 10 questions. And if you want more detail, write in, leave a comment below on YouTube, call the feedback line. That's in the show notes. Any of those things, and I will go into more detail. But we still have a few steps after this, and I think you get the idea now, right? It's about making new, interesting things and then connecting those new things to the old things. So, yeah, like I said, I don't think there's a lot of value in me going in depth for all those things. Also, I skipped last week because last week I did the new age review. And next week I'm not going to be able to record because there's some family stuff happening. And so let's get into it. So we did the first 9 questions. So we have 11 questions to go. Like I said, these aren't going to be in detail like the other ones, just going to do rapid fire. Question number 10 is, where can I find an alchemist, a sage, or other expert NPC? These are going to be in the big cities. They might be 1 or 2 isolated in different places. I like that idea. I would probably make a list and say, pick 1 or 2. A sage for plants is in some village over there or something, and a sage for herbs, which is different, might be someplace else. And then the rest, I would say, go to one of the bigger cities that we've already talked about. Question number 11 is, where can I hire mercenaries? If you want to actually hire mercenaries, you're going to have to go to a big city and look for people like looking to do that kind of thing. In general, for this culture, that's not what you're going to want to do. Back in the old first editions of D&D, right, there was that delineation between hireling and henchmen. And yeah, you might be able to find hirelings anywhere. I'll go around and gather them up and offer them money. But this culture is really more about those henchmen and getting those friends who are sworn blood oaths to you to be by your side and all that stuff. And as a footnote, I really like that kind of play, that henchman play and everything. And in classic D&D, at least by the time you get to AD&D, Gary kind of tries to take that away because he throws in all these roadblocks. And he says, in order to do it, you have to put out ads, and you have to spend this much money, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and maybe this many people will come. Why not start people with the number of henchmen that their charisma score says they can have? And then people who think of charisma as a dump stat will be much less likely to think of it that way. But anyway, to get back to the question, that is the kind of thing that we need to do, is you need to make connections, not just hire people. Question number 12, is there a place on the map where swords are illegal, magic is outlawed, or any notable hassles from Johnny Law? We talked about the magic guilds, the Concilium Arcanum that you have to be a member of to legally cast magic. That's everywhere. Other than that, I don't see a place like that. Actually, it says where swords are illegal. We talked about the temple on the mountain. That's a good place to say when you get there, you're not allowed to bring in your swords. I like that. Question number, I should have numbered these. What was that? That's 10, 11, 12. Question number 13 is, which way to the nearest tavern? All right. If you're in one of the cities, all right. Some people play cities like I play dungeons, right? how many squares are you moving? Only it might be 30 yards instead of 10 feet. Per turn, and tell you what you see and all that. I don't do cities like that. I do cities like point crawls, where you say, oh, I'm going to the tavern. Okay, it's over there. However, that's in the cities. In places like Elmsfjord, there's not a tavern. Again, you don't have the population to support it. You don't have the economy to support it. What you do have, leaning even back into this culture, going back a few hundred more years, let's pull on Beowulf for this one, is mead halls. In all the little villages and everything, the Jarl of that village has a mead hall where everybody's invited to come and drink and everything. And like strangers in town, they'll be invited to the Jarl's Mead Hall. And instead of taverns, places to stay, places to sleep, you get to sleep on the floor of the Mead Hall, unless you really form a friendship with somebody there in the town. They let you sleep in their longhouse, and then they'll have to vouch to you for you to that house leader and stuff. Next question is, what monsters are terrorizing the countryside sufficiently that if I kill them, I will become famous? Let's make something up right now. Dragon is too cliche, I think. I just yesterday started coming up with this fantasy race of kind of an offshoot of a kobold. And so let's say that this race is causing a problem over that way somewhere. We've done too many fords. Let's do a Lee is a clearing. Shipsley, I like it. Over at Shipsley, there is a thing. Are there any wars brewing where I could go fight? No, but there is always tension between the northern and southern kingdoms, but very seldom do they break out into war. Every so often there's a little skirmish, a little incursion, but it usually gets pushed back. How about gladiatorial arenas complete with hard-won glory and fabulous cash prizes? Sure, why not? Again, it's going to be in the cities. Why not? Once a year, there's a big meeting, kind of like the Alting in Iceland was, where everybody goes for, like I said, it's like a parliament, like a meeting. And during that festival that will surround it, there will be a like King of the Hill type competition. I like that. Are there any secret societies with sinister agendas that I could join and or fight? If it is a secret society, how would you know about it? I'm not answering that. I never answer that. I usually write that. They're so secret that you don't know about them. For Nord, and we don't know what for Nord means, you still don't. What is there to eat around here? So, a lot of fish, because it's a fjord and they go fishing a lot. A lot of fish, a lot of shellfish, and a lot of oats. Oats and barley are what they grow. So oats, barley, beer, fish. That's it. Oat bread. Are there any legendary lost treasures I could be looking for? Yes. There wasn't until I read that question. Of course, there has to be. Let's say 7 generations ago, there was a king of the Northern Kingdom, and he was rumored to be traveling with a buttload of gold, and he never made it where he was going, and the gold has never been found. Love it. All right. And the last question is, where's the nearest dragon or other monster with type H treasure? And I don't think I would make that one up. We have one legendary treasure already. We'll stick with that one for the type of campaign we're doing. Again, this is more swords and sorcery, more low fantasy than high fantasy. So I think one legendary treasure is enough. It is starting to rain really hard, but that was the last question anyway. Like I said, no episode next week. I will see you on the week after, where we will talk about the next step, which is the map. And then the step after that is the inciting incident, and then we're done. All right. Thanks for watching and or listening. And until next time, happy gaming, happy life. Bye.